Coming up today on Man 360.
I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, had brain surgery. They told us we would never have children. Kevin was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Just doing something is better than nothing.
All that and more right here on Man 360. Welcome to Man 360. I'm your host, Brian. Today we have an amazing testimony, one of our viewer favorite segments, and another helpful workout segment with our friend of the program, Micah Lassert. At the National Religious Broadcasters Convention, I sat down with Kevin Mason and his wife Steph from the amazing and hilarious podcast, Tell Us a Good Story. Kevin and Steph share how they started their podcast in the middle of one of the hardest seasons of their life. They also talked about the dynamics of what it's like working together as husband and wife in this fun and lively conversation. Then in one of our viewer favorite segments of the show, Things Brian Doesn't Want to Do, my brother-in-law Bodie and I do a cold plunge during an incredible cold snap in Florida of all places. We'll wrap up the show with another health segment with our friend Micah Lassert as he takes us through beginner and intermediate workout routines. Get ready to be encouraged, to hear lots of laughs, and consider additions to your fitness routine. I'm glad you're here. Let's get started. Welcome to Man 360. Kevin and Steph, thank you for being on Man 360.
Oh, we're so excited.
Our pleasure. Good to be here.
In the life
Yes.
of a fly, we have been friends forever.
I know. It's been amazing.
It's insane. So we heard you guys share a little bit about your testimony and what you do at the Crowns last night here at National Religious Broadcasters.
Yes.
And yeah, I just wanted to hear about you guys, what you do, a little bit about your testimony and things that you've walked through. People know, our audience know the things that Yolanda and I walked through, but we wanted to hear from you guys. So yeah,
Well,
share a little bit.
We started Tell Us a Good Story 5 years ago.
Yep.
We now have 250 podcast episodes, and we just started recording for TV.
Yes.
But Brian, during the most challenging times of our lives, every single day, I need to hear something encouraging, something inspiring, something funny just to get through the day. And in addition to reading our Bible, right? So why don't you tell Brian, a few things we went through?
Sure. So within the first 2 years of marriage, I was electrocuted and could have been killed. And by the grace of God, I survived.
Yeah.
Let's start with that one, right? So then that happened. And then I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, had brain surgery. They told us we would never have children. Kevin was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Then I had a miscarriage. Then then our son was born with 2 holes in his heart. So we've gone through some struggles.
But we always said, yes, we lived, right? We lived through
we
that.
are here.
So your book should have been called We Answered a Lucky.
Yeah.
Man. So, yeah, I mean, we now live a life completely healed, completely restored. We have 3 kids, doctors said
We're not possible. They're healthy,
right?
They're amazing, they're beautiful, they're incredible.
And it turned into, I'm a CPA, I'm a fractional CFO, in my professional life, you're a registered nurse. Brian, it turned into, we would go to church, and it felt like the Holy Spirit's, yelling at me, you need to share the story, you need to write a book, right? And I was like,
no,
I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I'm busy. I am super busy.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible. And then, Brian, all of a sudden, people would introduce us. Hey, this is Kevin and Steph. Oh my gosh, you should hear their story. They could write a book about it. And you're just like,
all right,
my
God.
gosh, confirmation after confirmation. And it turned into us writing a book. And then how do you market it?
Yeah.
And so we're like, hey, let's start a podcast for Tell Us a Good Story.
What, was it though? Was it? Let me talk.
Let me share.
Let's
Brian.
share.
Let's talk
this
about
is like when
Tell Brian
I
what
this is
happened.
like the time that Yolanda and I got together. I was sharing my side of the story and Yolanda's side of the
was
story.
gonna say,
There's always the perspective.
I was
let's
like,
go.
how is that?
Let's hear
side.
Steph's worldview.
I will tell you
Yes,
my
please.
worldview. So he was like, let's start a podcast. I'm like, no. We are very private people. It was hard enough to get our book out there because it was such personal information.
Right.
And then he's like, no, I feel like God's called us to do a podcast. I'm like, no. He's like, okay, well, you weren't really invited. I was actually going to do a podcast with my buddies. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then once he was trying to think of logistics, he started what about this buddy? I was the 5th choice, Brian. 5th choice. I even have shirts made. 5th choice.
She has a shirt that says 5th choice.
Yes,
but
it
I'm
does.
like, Steph, you can't really wear that because people are thinking, not in context, you're a 5th choice for my wife. For
marriage,
right?
yeah.
Not for this podcast.
Or you guys are Mormon and you're the 5th wife.
That could have been it.
Yes, I didn't think about that.
Well, if you were
but
not
now that
nice
also
to me.
expands your reach for your book for who could read people could read your book.
That's
true. That's a
Always
good point.
thinking marketing.
This guy's good.
There you go.
I'm trying.
I was
That's why I got
impressed.
a TV program.
She jokes fifth choice.
Yes.
And
That's so
she's not
funny.
going to let me live this down.
Yeah.
Never.
It's been 5 years now, and she still.
I bring
brings
it
that
up. Yes,
But
I
yeah,
do.
So
And
great.
then I'm like, okay, I've got like really funny buddies. Let's tell a good story, right? Because we've gone on road trips and like sharing, I'm just like dying laughing. And
Yeah.
then logistically, it would not work. So this was the best choice, hands down. And
He said he has to say that.
we-
But it was the best
listen,
choice.
we started this and we did a quick pilot, like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And Steph's like, how long should this be? I'm like, Steph, well, and again, this is like beginning in 2020. I'm like, the average commute, 27 minutes. She's like,
We don't talk that long in a day. Like, and that's
she's
with
like, we have to do that in a row?
Yeah.
Like 27 minutes in a row. Can we do a bunch of ads?
like
I'm
how
like,
can we do
a
this?
bunch of ads.
How can we do this? Like,
For the
there's
book.
no way for the book. Let's market the book
Just
most of the
market the
time,
book.
right?
So I'm like, well, let's try, okay? And so I had done a little bit of public speaking for work. You had not at that
Never.
time.
No.
So I didn't know how this was going to be. So we did an 8-minute clip, and I'm like, okay, like if this is the worst,
Right.
I can live with this. Like, this is good. Well, it's only going to get better from here. And then
Fingers
it
crossed.
turned to- so we were sharing our fun stories from marriage.
Uh-huh.
And then it turned to talking to other people who had some amazing stories
Yeah.
of healing and hope.
Yeah.
And and then it turned into us talking to some celebrities and higher profile people. But Brian, we started this when we were going through all of this, right? We needed to hear something fun and encouraging. So
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to give people.
Yeah. So share a little bit about how your dynamic of working together. You know, people have asked Yolanda and I about that as well. You know,
Yeah.
being
Right.
married and also being in ministry and working together around each other so much. Like, what are some of those things that you guys feel like you've learned to be able to honor one another, to work together,
I've learned
to shut up
Yeah.
this
at the appropriate time?
This,
Pretty much.
Brian, is the only thing we could work
Only
together
thing.
on.
Only
We
thing.
worked renovating homes,
Not good.
like landscaping.
Yeah, when I first saw you, you looked
No.
like Dave DeMar, actually, which is hysterical.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, he's on. Yolanda makes me watch one of her home improvement programs, so look him up.
Okay, I hope that's a compliment. He's like, oh man, I thought
That guy's a
Brian
horse.
had
That guy's
higher
a horse
opinion
face.
of me.
It's like, Steph, you could have done
Could've done
fifth
so much
choice.
better.
Hey, Steph, he
He was
needs
a
a
fifth
fifth
choice for sure.
But Brian, every time we're doing home renovations, it's Steph yelling at me, "Stop treating me like one of your employees!" Right? And I'm like, Steph, I'm not, because if I was, I would have fired you an hour ago.
We don't talk much
And
after
then
that
it's
comment.
like, okay,
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm sorry, that wasn't an appropriate response.
Yeah.
So this is literally like
The
the
only
only thing
thing.
we could work together on.
For sure.
So, but yeah, how do you honor? What was it? How do you honor
like,
your
how do you
husband?
honor your
Yes.
husband or your wife, or your wife?
We're recording
Oh.
this, right?
Yes,
I do the podcast with him. I am honoring him by sitting here.
you are honoring the
and-
crap out of him right now.
I'm here.
Do you
honoring
see this? Do you see what's happening
That
right
is
now?
so
You
great.
feel it?
I
Yeah.
hope you feel honored.
So share a little bit about the podcast too. I know that's kind of the main, thing that you guys do, and I saw some of your guests and stuff too. So just share a little bit about what you do and kind of the emphasis of the podcast too, and even the timing of when you started it. You mentioned that last night at the Crowns about like how that kind of genesis came about with the podcast.
Well, again, it was when I was going through the cancer treatments. It hit me, Brian. I'm at the cancer hospital, and I'm just looking around the waiting room like, oh my gosh, I've lived in a bubble. Like, there are so many hurting people here that they need to hear something inspiring, encouraging. Again, like, I needed to do this every day. And especially, it's funny because it's worse when your spouse is going through something.
Well,
right,
we always
than
say
you.
laughter's the best form of medicine. So we've always tried to watch comedians or do something that we can laugh together.
Yeah. So while I was at the cancer hospital, it just hit me, man, there's a lot of hurting people here. And so that's where I feel like it was the Holy Spirit leading us. Hey, you need to share some of these stories, right? You need to help some of these hurting people that's going through the same stuff that you've gone through. So that's really where this started.
That's awesome. So then share maybe some testimonies or different people that maybe you've had on, maybe a funny story and then maybe a testimony too.
So one of a couple of the crazier stories was we had a gentleman who was a 9/11 survivor. He was on the
Yes.
second tower on the very top floor. So he shares his story, which was crazy. Another crazy story was an Italian mafia guy.
Hitman.
He was a hitman for the mafia. It was amazing. So he goes into his story, tells us everything, and then at one point,
Yeah. He's getting chased by the feds.
he's getting chased by the feds and the mafia because he stole money
stole
from the
money.
mafia. He and his girlfriend at the time, like, pull the car over. They jump a train. The train is the Ringling Brothers train.
They get in the train.
Yes.
It's a circus. And then they hide out in the circus for 2 years. And
Yes,
we're like,
it was crazy. My mouth was literally on the ground.
This sounds like a movie.
he had a
That's what I'm
documentary.
saying.
He was in the middle of getting like a Netflix special
That
of
is
documenting his
absolutely
life.
insane.
And so we're just like, oh my gosh. Then I had a Bodie in my trunk, and we're like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
And then he came to Christ.
And then, yes.
It was amazing.
And now he's a believer.
Yeah, how we got off.
And he went to prison, obviously, and that's where he
Went to
found the
prison.
Lord.
They go, hey, right. They go to do the give a sentence. All the attorneys, the files gone.
Poof.
Then you hear
Poof.
mandolins.
Yes. Like, okay,
in
how
the
did that happen?
background.
Who got knocked off? Who
Yeah.
used
Exactly.
the files? And they're like, we have nothing to prove.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
it's
so amazing.
pretty crazy.
That's so amazing. Well, like I said, I just appreciate you guys spending some time with us and just sharing about, what you do. We'll put links to all of your podcasts and your book and everything on man360.tv. Additional content, all our viewers can go there. And would you guys I'm kind of pulling a little thing here. Can you guys just pray for our viewers? And just pray for our men that they would just find that the laughter and the true joy of God in what they go through. I feel like that's really important. Sure. Yeah.
Well, Heavenly Father, I thank you right now for this time that we have with you. God, I pray for every listener, every viewer, men out there who are just are struggling, right? And they're going through the most challenging thing in their life. God, I pray that you would give them the strength, give them the encouragement to just go the next step. God, align their steps, help them focus on just that next step, trusting you throughout this journey.
Yes.
In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Amen.
Kevin and Steph, you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on Man 360.
Thank you for
We're
having us.
honored.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you. Hey, Bodie.
Hey, Brian. Come on in.
So, the executive producer of Man 360, also known as your sister, also known as my wife, has another harebrained scheme for us.
You gotta be kidding.
I know. She wants us to do an ice plunge.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
Yeah.
So she even printed me up a sheet that says all the advantages and the things that this will give us by doing this ice plunge. Improved mood and mental focus. Why would she give us that?
No. Like,
Yeah.
you need that?
Yeah. Shocking cold water triggers the release of neurotransmitters like I can't even pronounce this word. I'm not even going to read the rest of it. Temporary boost in dopamine. No. Boosted metabolism. All right. Cold exposure activates brown adipose tissue or brown fat. Now she says we're fat, which burns calories to generate body heat.
And you do that right before hypothermia?
Yeah. So she says this basically will generate body heat if we jump in some ice. That doesn't make sense.
And she's aware of the bitter cold winter that we've had?
Yeah, and I think she probably needs to get in there with us. Here's the last one.
No, I like that idea.
Reduce stress and increased resilience.
Well, yeah, because you go unconscious.
Yeah.
not
If you're not conscious, you don't have to worry about being stressed, right? So then, there's some safety guidelines she gave us. So apparently we're going to go over to a pool in town, and Yolanda set this up for us so we can go jump in a big ice bath. So we'll just see how this goes.
Sorry I let you in.
Yeah, I know. Thanks. Sorry, I guess that we got in the middle of this. So another one for Yolanda. All right, let's go. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're taking a perfectly good hot tub. We're turning the heat off.
It is.
We're adding ice.
Yes.
And Bodie and I are going to jump in this to stay in here for how long?
So you're gonna try to get 2 minutes.
2 minutes. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
So let's try to go for like 15 seconds.
Just see if you can do 2 minutes.
I like 15 seconds.
I'm gonna
So
tell
true
you.
story, in the military we were doing a swim
Uh-huh.
in a Olympic-sized pool.
Right.
And it was extremely cold. One of the guys jumped in and popped right back out. I have no idea how he did it. As soon as his feet hit the deck, he popped right out of the
He was
water.
like those
and
memes
stood
where
out.
they have Jesus as AI and he tries to dunk himself and he just stands on the water and
Yeah.
runs on the water.
All right, Bodie, take your hat off.
Yeah! The fire
Okay.
of God.
Just get in. Just don't even think about it. Go, 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 go. Go, go. Go, 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 go. Down, get down, Bodie.
Get down.
Okay.
All right,
Where are we at?
15 seconds.
Get that ice away.
Go, go,
There's the
go.
ice cubes.
I know. Okay.
Do you feel invigorated?
No.
How's your up and up?
I feel angry. Okay.
30
How's your up and up?
seconds.
That was 30 seconds?
Yep.
Okay.
See if you can go. Just
I can feel my legs.
Breathe.
I have chicken skin on my legs. I can
breathe.
feel right now.
Breathe.
How's your epinephrine?
I don't know what you're talking about. What is epinephrine? Is it when you go into hypothermia you can't talk? Fepiteprin. Like my mom. Fepiteprin.
All right, you've hit 1 minute.
Fepiteprin.
It's all mental.
Hit 1 minute.
Yes, this is mental. You are right. This is mental.
It's all mental.
Oh.
Okay?
No.
Just breathe normal. There you go. There you go. Your brother-in-law is an ice machine.
He's the cold bear ice machine.
It's all good.
No.
1:25.
Come on, you can do this.
What do we gotta do? 2?
Yep, you're almost there.
If I don't move, it's not as bad. Okay, now I'm kind of warming up. Maybe I'm losing feeling in my arms.
See, isn't that good?
Now I can't feel my legs.
How's your mental clarity?
It's bad.
How's your focus?
It's icy. It's not icy. It's hot. No, it's icy, not hot. Woo!
1:50.
Come
You're
on,
almost
you can
there.
do it. Yeah, don't
All right,
forget,
ready?
when you jump out, it's going to be cold.
I know. It's only 40
Go.
degrees
You
outside.
did it. Go. 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 Don't get the phone wet. Grab your towel, Brian.
Oh yeah, here. Oops. Oh. I think it's worse now because the cold air on you.
Uh-huh.
All right, so once again,
Are you going to think clear at the office today?
no. Once again, your sister strikes again with the things Brian doesn't want to do. So we should be calling this things Brian and Bodie don't want to do.
Or, yeah, really.
Or
Or things that Yolanda doesn't want to do, but can make
but
somebody
makes
else
somebody
do.
else do. But makes family do. So thanks, Bodie, for endeavoring with me on this
Yeah.
ice plunge. I
You
know
look
you've already
good.
done this before. Do I look younger?
No,
Okay, at least you're honest. Thanks, Bodie.
but your epinephrine is good.
Have you ever faced a time so painful that it tested every part of you? I nearly lost my eye to a disease doctors couldn't diagnose, draining my wife and I financially, emotionally, physically, and even spiritually. But it was also a time of awakening, a moment where I realized that even when I didn't want to hold on to God, He was still holding on to me. My story, Holy Crap, Finding God's Presence in Your Pain, is more than just a book. It's a journey through one of the most difficult periods in my life. This book is not only the story of what I walked through, but also some of the most profound lessons I learned. I want my journey to encourage you in your struggles and help bring hope in your situation. Life can test who we are and what we believe, but there is growth in the challenge. HolyCrapBook.com is your resource for continuing the conversation beyond the pages and provides information on how you can order your copy. Join me in discovering the holy moments in the most unexpected places. Your journey to healing and understanding can start today. Micah, again, thanks for being on Man 360.
Happy to be here.
So it is so good to talk to somebody that I really feel like is listening to me as just a common man, right? As obviously you can see your physique that you've been doing this at least for a couple months.
Yeah, I just started a couple weeks ago.
Just a couple weeks ago, yeah.
I think I know everything now.
Maybe juicing a little bit, but no, actually don't do that. So yeah, I just really want to talk to you again about, what does it look like to just from a beginner standpoint of starting like a circuit, fitness in that way and doing some weightlifting. And then what does it look like in the kind of an intermediate, transition in that way too?
So as a beginner, if you haven't been in the gym for quite a while or maybe never there, I would really start with, you're more than likely going to go to a membership gym or maybe train at home with some dumbbells or whatnot. And just think about, hey, I need to get the whole body strong. So we're going to do what's called like full body workouts.
Okay.
Where you may do 1 or 2 exercises of every single muscle group until that body and that foundation of building muscle endurance and muscle strength goes up before we go into more of an intermediate style, which we call split training.
Yeah.
Split training is more like, hey, I got chest and triceps today, or back and biceps today, and legs and hamstrings and quads. And so when do you transition is going to be a really good question. It's like, well, when do I know that I'm ready to like advance to the next step? Your body, you're going to start training and you're like, this isn't hard anymore like it was the first couple weeks. So you either do one of two things. I'm adding an extra day in, I'm increasing weight a little bit, or I'm going to go into more of split training.
Okay, so on the beginning side of training or doing some weight training, what do you feel like the frequency per days per week is important that way? Because I know there needs to be a time for your muscles to rest and recover. So what do you feel like is the kind of the pacing of that, or the timing of that? Is it different for each person?
I mean, it's going to be a little bit different for each person, but usually on a full body, 3 days a week to start out with would be great.
Okay.
But if you are like in really bad shape, even just doing something is better than nothing.
Right.
And just start with that, and maybe you're doing one set of 4 or 5 different exercises, and you're going for a small walk, and then just get better. Your body was created in a way that if we put it to work, it gets stronger and better and more endurance and more resilient. So I would continue just like really pushing yourself towards that.
Yeah.
You'll start feeling better, your endorphins go up. It's an amazing thing that you can add to your life.
So I know, Yolanda, we were not teasing, but telling truthfully, like we live at elevation in Colorado, right? We live at 5,280 feet. So I know that there's already some, like, I guess my point is like not comparing yourself to someone else, but looking at your own body and what you feel like you need. But also, I think accountability, we were talking about that too, just in that weight training, to have somebody that's saying, have you been working out? Have you been doing those things too? I mean, how important is that too, just for accountability's sake?
If you can afford getting a coach and someone that has a good reputation, that has the success in helping other people, that is actually the route I would suggest for most people to go. It just gives you that not only accountability piece, but making sure you're doing the exercises properly, you don't hurt yourself. When do I need to advance from a plateau? Stuff like that. So having that guidance and that education is invaluable. So you're spending on yourself and investing in yourself, and so I would encourage that.
So, and this is again back to the beginning, kind of the basics, building blocks of working out. How do you know how much weight to start with when you step up to a machine, right? You have there's maybe girls watching or whatever, you're like, I'm gonna move this pin down a few notches, and you do like, a bunch of like crazy whatevers, and then you go home and you're all like sore and maybe you hurt something. So what's the balance of that? Like, how do you know how much weight to start lifting?
You got to start somewhere. So,
it's the bar, basically.
And sometimes it's not the bar; it's just your own body.
Okay.
So, like, if we're thinking about chest, like, what is a great chest exercise? Well, let's get on and get on our hands and knees or hands and feet and do some push-ups and see how many we can actually do.
Okay.
We got to at least be able to control our own body before we start trying to move a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And so, I would get strong from a core standpoint of push-ups and setups, all the foundational exercises.
Yeah.
And then you can start also working in some dumbbell work or some machine work if you're going to a gym.
Yeah.
And just start where you are. And how I test that usually is you need to be able to do 10 to 15 reps of something. And and by the time you get to that 15th rep, it should have you're like, woo, okay, that was good. Yeah,
Your voice register should change.
You're like, woo, okay, that burn that you were in fitness world, we love that burn. Like we want that burn, But in for someone that's brand new, they're going, okay, I need to stop there. You'll learn over time that that's what you're going for almost every single time. So as you increase weight, you're still going for that same thing, regardless if we're doing 8 reps or we're doing 15.
Yeah.
You can kind of control your weight based off of that.
Nice. So then going from basic to intermediate, just specifically, I mean, I don't want to get super into that, but how do you know when it's time to go from what you're doing just as maybe a circuit to maybe the split training piece?
When it becomes like you're almost not
When you feel
even
like a
working
tough guy,
out anymore,
you're like, I'm going to go do legs today.
Or also, motivation starts coming in as you start gaining results and you're like, hey, I want to take this to another level. And then we go into what I mentioned before, which is that split training.
Yeah.
Which is like, hey, I want to tax each individual muscle a little bit more, which will help with muscle growth, which will help with fat loss, which will help with strength and power. And so now we're really isolating a muscle rather than just doing a full body.
Yeah, that's good. Now, are you a proponent of like YouTube workouts or guys that do YouTube things that say this is the type of weight that you can do with this workout? Or is that kind of fakey? Like, what's your opinion? I know you're more of an old school guy, but there is technology out there for people to help you kind of a trainer for you.
I think from a YouTube standpoint, if you have a really reputable trainer teaching you proper form and giving good education, there's a difference, I think, between like what we're thinking about an influencer and then like a legitimate guy that's been in the gym for a long time and giving you great knowledge.
Yeah.
Because you need to be able to rep it properly to not hurt yourself. You need to understand when I need to increase and whatnot. So YouTube is a great place to go to.
I think that's awesome. Well, Micah, thank you for your knowledge and your wisdom for working out. See that arm there? Oh, man, it hurt me a little bit. So I just appreciate, again, your wisdom and knowledge, and also doing it from a perspective of taking care of the temple that God's given us in our body, and not just worried about the spiritual or the emotional side, but really be concerned and caring about the physical side too.
Thank you.
Let's do our 360-degree review of today's program. Hearing just a part of Kevin and Steph's testimony really puts life in perspective. And to hear how God put it on their hearts to start the podcast and how He has moved that forward was exciting. I hope what they shared gave you hope in your circumstances today, that God still has a plan for you in the middle of your darkest days. The key to staying more focused on His voice and being obedient than on the problems going on around you. Thanks to Kevin and Steph for being on the program. For links to their podcast, book, and ministry, go to man360.tv and click on the Additional Content tab. As Kevin and Steph said in our interview, laughter is the best medicine, and I hope you had a good laugh at my expense in our Things Brian Doesn't Want to Do segment. If there's something you'd like Yolanda and me to consider for those things I would not like to do, head over to our website, Facebook, or Instagram and send us a message. I'll be sure to ignore it. In all seriousness, we love hearing from our viewers, so check out man360.tv and connect with us. And finally, thanks to Micah Lassert for showing us a beginner and intermediate training circuit to consider in our workouts. Micah's been a wealth of knowledge in my health journey even since that segment was shot. And always remember, working out and fitness should never be about just losing weight. It's about helping this temple that God gave us operate at maximum capacity for His glory. Man 360 exists for men to be complete in every way through Christ, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Make sure to connect with us on our website, Facebook, or Instagram, and we'll see you next week, right here on Man 360. Oh, that sounds like fear, Yolanda.
I don't live in fear.
Okay, sass. All right, hat shot. Go ahead and start over.
So,
Was that for effect? Here we go, ready? And scene.
Yolanda, did we nail it, Yolanda?
How are we?
Yes! So,
10 minutes. What?